Today, I'm going to show you how to make these amazing foil sculptures inspired by the work of Alberto Giacometti. Before we get started, I'll share a bit about his life and explain how his art made a lasting impact on the modern art world. Have you ever seen a sculpture that looks like it might blow away in the wind? Meet Alberto Giacometti, a Swiss artist who turned bronze and plaster into tall, skinny people that seem to stretch upward towards the sky. His figures look gritty and carry deep emotion. Giacometti was fascinated by how small and distant people can feel, especially in big cities and during tough times. Born in 1901, he grew up in Switzerland during World War I. As an adult, he was living in Paris, France when World War II broke out, but the war forced him to return to Switzerland, where he worked in near isolation. After the war, he went back to Paris, haunted by the fragility of human life. He didn't have any desire to make perfect-looking statues. Instead, he wanted to sculpt the feeling of being human. His figures are characterized by long limbs, tiny heads, and rough textures. Each piece seems frozen in motion, like it could walk away at any moment. Giacometti's fragile giants forever changed the way we see the human figure, reminding us that art isn't always about perfection, but about capturing what it feels like to exist. If you are making multiple foil figures, you might want a surface to display them on, but this part is optional. One option is to use the backside of a styrofoam tray. You could also use a small piece of cardboard. I'm going to use a styrofoam tray and use acrylic paint to paint it black because I like the way it looks. I'm using a 1-inch flat brush and I'm covering the back side of the tray with black paint. Another option is to grab a piece of foil, put your tray onto the foil face up, and then wrap the foil around it. You could also use the foil to cover a piece of plain cardboard. Place the cardboard on top of the foil, then wrap the foil around it, add some tape to make it stay in place. These are my 3 favorite options for creating a surface on which you can display your foil sculptures. To make a Giacometti foil sculpture, I grab a piece of copy machine paper. I use this to measure out the size of my foil. It doesn't have to be exact, but I want it to be about the same size as this paper. You will want to use one of these templates for drawing on your foil. I will show you both, starting with this one. I look at this template, then I use a Sharpie to draw the same lines onto my foil. Next, I use scissors to cut along those lines. I start to scrunch the 2 bottom pieces that will become the legs. Then I scrunch both the arms and the head, and I push the middle section closer together. Now that I have the basic shape, I go back and start pinching and scrunching along the arms and the legs. See how I'm pinching around the midsection as well? I'm rotating my fingers to push along all the sides of the legs to create a nice even surface. I'm doing the same thing for the arms, pinching where I want the neck to be and making a round ball for the head. Once I have my figure, I can start to shape it and pose it and make some little feet if I want. Bending here at the elbows and bending a little at the knees as well. Now I'm tearing off a new piece of foil and I'm going to use the other template. I'm using my Sharpie to copy the lines that I see on the template. Now using scissors to carefully cut along these lines. This time I'm going to start rolling the foil towards the center, then repeating on the other side. It's important to note that this next section is not an arm. It is actually part of the torso. So I'm just rolling it in towards the center, then doing the same thing on the other side. Don't go all the way to the center. Leave about 1 inch of space. Now, this flap here is the arm. I carefully scrunch and twist this arm in on itself. I do the same thing on the other arm. Don't worry if your foil tears a little bit. Just keep pinching it together. Now I'm starting to push the middle of the body together. I'm also pinching out the neck and creating a ball for the head. Now that I have the basic shape, I can go back and refine the details. I'm pinching all the different parts tighter together. Here's what to do if one of your body parts breaks off. Use your scissors to cut off a small piece of foil. Place the foil in the middle of your figure where you want to reattach the body part. Carefully wrap your foil around this broken part. Pinch it tightly together and use additional pieces of foil if needed. Once you have the basic shape, go back and tighten everything up. This part is optional. I decided to use buttons to make big chunky feet. You could also use pennies for this. I take a foil square, I place the button near the corner, I fold the foil around the button, leaving the top part loose and open. Then I stick the foil onto the leg and begin pinching it into place. Again, I place the button near the corner of the foil. I fold the foil around the sides of the button, leaving the top part open and loose. I stick the leg into the loose part of the foil, then I pinch the foil to fasten it around the leg. Once you have your figure, you can shape the body as desired. I like to bend a little at the knees and at the elbows. If you like, you can cut a small foil square and wrap it around the end of the arm to make a hand. I'm cutting off another foil square because I want to wrap this around the chest to make my figure look a bit more robust. I'm using one more foil square and wrapping it around the head to make it a bit larger. Wow, check out the difference between these two figures. The elongated shape of the figure on the right definitely looks more like a Giacometti sculpture, so I'm going to keep using this template for my other figures. Once again, I copy this design onto my foil, I cut along the lines I have drawn, I gently roll the legs towards the center line, I fold and roll the center flap towards the center line, I do the same thing on the other side. Remember, do not go all the way to the center, leave about an inch of space. Now I pinch and roll the arms. Next, I gently scrunch the body together by pinching it on the sides. This is the basic shape that we're going for. Now that I have this, I can start to gently pinch, twist, and tighten everything together. My arms look a bit short. To fix this, I'm grabbing a foil square and placing the arm in the middle of it, then pinching the foil together around the arm. I can make a little hand shape at the end. Now I'm doing the same thing on the other side and pinching together a little hand shape at the end. I'm adding another square where the chest is, carefully folding this around the arms and neck to make this chest more broad. I'm grabbing another foil square and placing it around the hips. I'm tearing it a bit so I can wrap it around the hips and thighs, then tightly pinching this foil so it blends into the leg. I'm going to show you one more time how I make the feet. Place the button near the bottom corner, start wrapping the sides of the button but leave the top part open, then stick your leg inside and pinch tightly around the leg to secure the foil. Now repeating this for the other side. I'm adding one more foil square to make the head a little bit bigger. Now that you get the basic idea, I'm going to start going faster. I'm rolling the legs together, then the midsections, then scrunching the arms, then scrunching the body together, next pinching the neck and head, then going back and pinching everything more tightly together. Again, adding extra foil to make the chest more robust and adding extra foil around the head. This time, I'm going to try something different and make the feet without using any buttons. I'm making the same shape, I'm just not using a button inside. I actually found that this works great. So if you don't have any buttons or pennies, give this a try. Then just repeating on the other side, wrapping a tiny piece of foil around the hips. And I'm actually happy with the arms, so I'm going to leave them as is. I'm starting to think about how I might position my figures onto the platform for display. I'm adding some glue gun glue to the bottoms of the feet, then pressing them down onto the surface. I'm repeating this with my next figure, then securing it onto the platform. I'm adding glue to this figure's feet, then spreading the legs a bit to make it look like it's walking. So here are the 3 figures that I've got so far. I still want to make a couple more figures, so I'm making them now. This time I want my figure to be kneeling, so I'm bending the hip and knee joints and then bending the other knee. Start thinking about what interesting ways you can position your figures. Do you want your figures to be interacting with each other, or do you want each figure to kind of be doing its own thing? Okay, one last figure. I want this figure to be sitting down, so I'm bending it right at the hips. I'm also carefully bending the knees. Make sure you know exactly where you want your figures to be positioned before you start adding any hot glue. Since the knee touches the platform, I also add hot glue to the knee. You will want to add glue to any parts of the sculpture that touch the platform. You can add extra glue to make your figures more secure so they don't fall off. This figure has a hand on its knee, so I'm adding glue to the hand and attaching it to the knee. I'm also adding glue to this hand so I can make it touching the back of this other figure. Once you have your figures secured, you can continue to adjust their positions as desired. I decided to add some glue here so I can make these two holding hands. I let all students who are in 3rd grade and up use the glue guns, then I have them help the younger students in the class. I'll be trying this exact project and tutorial out with my 1st through 6th grade students, and I'm super excited about it. Next, be sure to check out this tutorial on how to make Keith Haring inspired figures. Your students will totally love it.